Okay, so this is build of the X99 system going into this new case. I did put both fans down here. One was up on top up here, right? So I cleaned this all up and I moved them both down here. They're all clean. Okay, I do have the front off because it has a door on it and I don't want that flip-flopping back and forth. Case is all cleaned up. Still's got the little mark on the top and the side panel here. I didn't fix that dent. That metal is thick. I was worried about trying to bend that back, that it might, you know, flake the chip the paint, and then I think that would look worse. So these cases, these cases have that stuff like Dell's and Lenovo used to have, that little rubberized stuff. So I had to take alcohol and clean this off, so the buttons do look really good now. Same thing right here. It had that, you know, rubber coating that they put on it that gets sticky. It wasn't on this side though, which is kind of weird. Okay, but it was on the power button and the reset button and up here, and I think this actually looks way better now. At least this part, it you know, doesn't have that look. You know, it's just plain plastic. Same thing here. This is shiny, really kind of, you know, weird looking. Looks like it's painted. I don't know if it's painted or not. Kind of does look like they painted it, but then put that sticky stuff on it, which wasn't sticky at the time. It just felt like, you know, like it was rubber, right? Fans cleaned on the top. Clean the filter here. It does have a filter same size as this fan, and it's a 200 mil fan. So what we're going to do is get dust in it. See, it's kind of hard when you clean these cases and then go back through and re-clean them. You know, like you hit other spots that get dust, and then that dust just goes somewhere else, and then you're cleaning another area. But here we go. We're going to throw the X99 system in here. You know, hopefully, hopefully you like the setup like it was before. So I'm going to move the camera again up here. Move this farther back. And then pan this down like this. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to put IO shield in. So you can see, you know, here's the IO shield. Yeah, there's definitely something weird about that other case, because this thing was like magically moving down. Even that I screwed that motherboard into that other case, it just kept it seemed like it just kept getting out of whack in that case. I don't know what the deal with it is. Seems like that's in place all the way. So I ordered some RAM. You see here, I ordered some RAM. I couldn't find this RAM here. I just wanted to replace it with the same exact stuff, right? This is a 4 gig, this is a 4 gig. Only one I could find was on eBay, and the dude wanted $150. Like I said, this is only a 4 gig and this is 4 gig. It's running at 3000 hertz. It isn't nothing really special to it. So then I found this RAM here. It's blue. It's a different color blue. Obviously, with the case being red, it'd be better with red. Would match more. It'd be a red, white, and black theme. But the fan on the top is blue. So, and these kits here are this two 8 gig sticks. So we got 16 plus the 8. So we got 24 gigs of RAM in here. You know, if I'm not satisfied with this, I'll just order another set of this RAM here, so we can have 32 gigs of RAM in the system. I don't have a cooler better than this, you know, for this socket, but we'll go ahead and put this together with this cooler. Obviously, if I get one, the time it, you know, it goes for sale, I'll swap it out. And you can see here, I thought I was missing 3 offset, but it seems that I had one here, but there still wasn't one there. So there wasn't one here, and here, And there was one here for some reason. And this one I found loose in the case, right? So this one came out, but I already had these hooked in. So technically I was only missing one offset. Yeah, screw this in here. Grab this other one and grab this other one here, this other screwdriver. That's this longer. These are brand new screws too, so should be pretty good. I bought these a long time ago, so these, you know, here's the brand, and then on the packaging it says it's not enough that we do, and the we do parts together, we do our best. We have to do what's, but the S is really far away. What's required. Ask me what that means. We got to do our best, you know, but we got to do what's required. Yeah, it's just fucking, it should be opposite, you know. You're doing your best. You're not doing what's just doing what's required. You're doing more than what's required because you're doing your best. Unless your best isn't good enough. I don't get that slogan. Maybe someone else will. Maybe you leave that in the comments below if you think that's kind of cool. Yeah, I bought these a long time ago. I actually go through screws pretty quick. And is this offset a different one, just like my other computer? Like, no, it's just not on there right. That thing seems like it's getting tight pretty quick, but it's the same, it's matching. I bet you the offset just spinning. Nope, it's not. Okay. It's a nice board. I thought it was exactly the same as my other board that I had that didn't work, but this one doesn't have the spot for Wi-Fi. That other board did have Wi-Fi on it, so maybe I seen the guy who bought it, he, you know, we buy parts back and forth. I think he buys a lot more from me than I buy from him anymore. But he bought the X99 motherboard because I listed it. I was like, you know, maybe someone else could get it fixed sooner than I can. So he bought the board. And it came with the cooler and the CPU. So maybe I just so I seen he got one of these AliExpress boards that I don't like them. You see YouTubers praising them that buy them, but then you see them same ones in these newer videos like, well, you know, they're really good, but you know, you can run into issues with RAM speed, and some of them don't. Some of them only have, you know, 4 DIMM slots, 2 this side, 2, you know, 2 on this side, 2 on this side, and they don't run in quad channel. So it's like, yeah, you're getting a board that's dual. The main feature of the X99 is quad channel, right? So you want quad channel, so you can have 4 in there minimum. Now you can't do that. You can't really do that with some of them. And like I had, you know, people buy them and tell me that it's supposed to have DDR4 memory or ECC memory support, and then they get it and it doesn't have just regular ECC support. It only has ECC support, so it only has like server memory support, right? So they ain't too much. They had to put server memory in it, and they just bought the board. They didn't buy like the RAM and the CPU and the motherboard kit. They just, because they already had RAM and they already had a CPU, so they just bought the board, save a little bit more money, and then that savings didn't save them any money, because then that, you know, they either had to return the board or just buy ECC memory. So then we got our audio here. Okay, this needs a lead cord. So what we got? These are for our fans that are all mixed in these other canes. So these are other fans. You know, you run the fans from the switch on the top. There's this cable. Let's run these. Like I said, that's a USB port. How did I get the USB port cable in my hand? So then that's for the eSATA, this other cable. This cable here's for the eSATA that's on the top. Now we got the audio cable. Plug this guy in. Plug in the USB, which is over here. Okay, and then the fans all run through Molex, so I had to order another one. The only one I have now for a temporary thing is this here, which I haven't ever had a problem with. I test stuff with this all the time. So it goes from SATA. It originally was 2 SATA ends, but I put the Molex in on it. I soldered these on and then, you know, shrink wrap them so they're good, you know. So we'll run this on the fans to get this system done, and then once the new one comes in, I'll have to change it, because the power supply I have, you know, the case air power supply that came with this system doesn't have Molex, so I just can't run this Molex. So I gotta go with the SATA to, you know, breaks off to another SATA and then a Molex. So I have to run this to run the fans, which I don't see a big deal with that. It's just running fans. And I got another one coming that's just SATA to Molex itself, and not that one, because obviously I'd rather keep that one for testing because I need other ports. Where is the... So here is the USB. Here's the USB. Here's a power cord. You know, the power for the power button, the LEDs, and all this. So they come out here. So I guess I go right here. Make sure all the cables are kind of coming out the same. So then we got, see, like these. I hate when they don't label these. So this is a power button, reset button, which will go like this. Well, on this board it doesn't. It goes like power buttons over here. Where's that? I think the reset button should be like right here. Alright, yeah, that should be it. And then these are not labeled at all. Seriously? Yeah, they don't even have a marking on them. That's even worse. Okay, that has a line. I think that's negative, right? I'm going off of this. I'm gonna say that's positive, so you just hook that in right here. And then these negative and positive. See, they put negative and positive on the lines for that, but they put an arrow. But I can never remember what that arrow key is supposed to be for. You know, if it doesn't light up, I just switch it over. You know, never can remember. You'd think I remember that. I remember the pin layouts on here. So even on here, you can see on this little adapter, if it focuses in, you got power button here. This is how it lay in. So it says power button, reset, ground right here. So that's where you plug in the reset. That's where you would plug in your power. And then here's your LEDs for the hard drives on this side. And then since this board is separated, it has a positive here and a negative here. And then on here would be the Beat speaker, which on this board it actually has a separate spot. I don't know why. Why in the heck? Okay, I just noticed that. This is actually, this Beat speaker was hooked into a fan header. Very nice of them, right? So who knows if that even works. So just plug that in where it's supposed to be plugged in at. Yeah, I don't see a beep speaker on it. So then all these cables will have to go on the other side. Get these kind of in here and out of the way of the power supply, because we're going to set the power supply in here, and like I did in the other video, I'll do all this cable management you know, off camera. So we'll set in the, and on top of that, need one caddy. So I just kind of hard show you what to do with the. I'll get the power supply in here now, and then I'll put the hard drives in. For now, I have to put in. Still have to put in this 250 gig to see that the system boots still, because I haven't received. Newegg for some reason is like being really slow on stuff. Like, hopefully I get my SSDs this time and they don't get damaged and get sent back for some reason like they did last time. And I got two 256 gig SSDs. I figured that'd be good for this system because I'm adding a 2 terabyte hard drive, and the other 250 gig drive, I don't know what I'm going to put that one in yet. But if I was sure what this board was, I would have bought it in like a 512 gig NVMe SSD. You know, comparing, you know, I'll say this, it depends on, once I list this, how many people are actually, you know, doing a fair offer, and how many people are interested in this build. Once I list it for sale, you know, I could get this drive probably 2 days. Next day, you know, I'll put a 512 gig in it. If I don't get a lot of interest, I'll just keep the 256 gig in it, and the 2 terabyte. The 2 terabytes will stay with the system, but just go ahead and put this power supply in here. Obviously, I'm gonna unhook most of it that I don't need right now. Like I don't need these SATA cables hooked in right now, so I'm gonna unhook these and set them on the floor right here. Right now, what is this? So this cable here I don't need either. So this is for the video card, which I'm not, you know, I don't want that in there right now, but I need, I could just unhook all this and just bolt it in, right? Unhook all these, because it is 100% modular, which is hard because it got two cables coming into one. So there is the 24 pin, so let's just unhook that. I did leave the screws in here, so I will need to unscrew these. Try not to drop the power supply on the motherboard and destroy it. I won't do like they did and send it in with the PCIe bracket floating around inside the case. They did. I messaged them because I just wanted them to know, hey, you know, that's not a good idea. Maybe the other person didn't know that. And the power supply is really quiet because it has a, you know, run fan, no run fan, so the fan kicks in and runs every once in a while. Guess to double check, make sure it's still working. Otherwise, it just is off under low usage. So under low, the power supply heats up, the fan kicks in. So it's really clean inside. Like, it almost looks new inside. So you just go ahead, stick this power supply in here. I think this is going to be pretty good. It still needs, I'd say it still needs a better video card, but right now I only have the 1660 Ti, and so that's what I'm going to run in this system, is the 1660 Ti. It's a 6 gig video card. It's an OEM card, probably from Dell. What I'm seeing online, I got like, it was like cheap, $10 cheaper than sold listings for like on eBay. So I got it for, you know, $50 less than what they're selling for. I still think they're kind of high. I wouldn't give what they're selling for. But yeah, people are buying them, so they're gonna keep selling like that high. It's no reason like, hey, if I build this computer and tons of people are willing to give me $1,000 for it, then why wouldn't I sell it for $1,000? You know, this is the way companies are gonna be. They're gonna sell it at what people are willing to pay for it. If someone's willing to pay me $1,000 for it, I guess, then you know they're willing to pay $1,000 for it. It's I'm gonna back this camera up because we're done in here. Besides me running wires, and I'm gonna set the computer upright. Okay. And recheck the camera to see if you actually get the view of it. Like I said, these right here for the fans that go onto the side. You can run all the fan speeds from up here to run low, or runs all the way. And this is how you power it up with the Molex. Yeah, I could probably, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 fans in this case. And on the board, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 fan headers, and we actually have a CPU header and a alternate, like an extra fan. So if you had a cooler that has two fans on it, it has separate things for that. So just run the cables. So how are we gonna do this? These in here. These we got here at the bottom. Trying to get it where my head's not and where I'm not in the way of the camera. So these are tricky since there's 2 wires and they're not like separate. One of the wires is like on this bundle too, so you don't have that much of leeway to it. And plus these wires are, you know, set a certain way. So what is this? This is a eSATA plug. eSATA plug. We'll put in like one of these lower ones, I think it is. So the eSATA plug will still be plugged in. Plug that in so I don't have to be like, oh well, the eSATA port doesn't work, and people are like, well, why doesn't it work? Because I didn't want to have it hooked in. Might as well have it hooked in. We have the spot here for it. Get that out of the way. Get these fans out of the way too, so it doesn't get mixed up in all the rest of this. And we do have another fan that should be, that you could put in the front, but I figure it already has a exhaust fan, a fan here, and 2 in the front. I did remove this extra hard drive caddy. This has screws up here, but then the rest of it is pop riveted in, so you can't take it out. So we got our USB port here. I think I'm gonna go to the top, but I have to run this cable first. These holes are like just barely. You see that came that it didn't even have really enough room to kind of go through there. Turn that, flip this, and do like that. And yes, the system boots with this RAM in it. I only got 3200 because I don't think the system runs any faster than 3200 with this CPU. And plus this other RAM was 3000, so it's running at 3000. Okay. These cables are going to be a mess, but you know, I'll do that off camera. But we'll still boot this up for you guys can see it still works. So the only thing I technically need to hook in is this, and these hook in just by these little rubber standoff things here. Pop them in the holes and you kind of bend this upward, which is freaking tricky as ever, right? Because don't get it just right, they'll pop out. Okay, there we go. So we'll put this in, I believe probably right here. So the one fan in the two fans on the front, one's gonna blow in here, one's here. That's why I removed this. I figure if I left this in here, all we're doing is giving it a tunnel, because it has the slots in the back. It kind of just gives it a tunnel for that air to go through. So the fan that sits right here will blow on the SSD and the hard drive, so it keep them cool, and then this one will push air in and kind of go through the case because it's going to be less resistant, you know what I mean? Instead of giving it a tunnel, here's a drive, and the fan's like right here. That's probably what the purpose of them for, so it just kind of gives it a little tunnel to go through, and like we'll probably lose most of the fan, the intake. It's still gonna work, but I think it's gonna be more effective like this. So then obviously we need the video card one next, and here's one SATA, because we're gonna need one SATA hooked up. Like I said, I'm gonna boot this in with the SSD, with the 2 terabyte hard drive, with the 2 terabyte, 250 gig hard drive, because it has Windows already installed on it. And then we'll you know, stop the film, stop the recording, and then I do all the cables management, and then show you the after effect from it. But yeah, show you how good it looks like afterwards. So yeah, I'm not gonna worry about trying to route this stuff right now. So what did I do? I'm thinking I'm gonna go with like a red cable, like a red SATA cable, something like these. This one's super long, so I won't go with that one. I'm thinking I'll go with something like these. This one's not too. This is seriously long too. Well, I was gonna say this one, but that's too short. That's probably too short. And these other ones I have are probably too short. Let's see. Okay, I think. Oh, that's a really bright red there. That's more of a pink. It's more like a pink, so probably no on that. But yeah, I'm thinking these two cables, because maybe it won't stand out so much being red. And hook this through here. Like I said, I'm not going to do cable management too good. This is just to kind of re-show you that the system still works. And we'll, you know, last thing I do, I'll put in the video card, and then I'll do the cable management off camera. Like right now, we just need the boot drive hooked in to show you that it boots in. I'm sure. I don't know if I had the video card on here or not. Yeah, sure I did with this drive, and the drivers are on it. So video card's gonna go right here. Definitely going to set this sideways while I do the video card. So that's all the, well, I still need to run the 8-pin for CPU power. That's not it. Here's this one. And this what? Okay, so this is the end that goes to the CPU. Had to split the cable, otherwise it won't fit through that slot in the back. Put them two back together. And on this board, the release is on the top. Huh. Which means I still have to run this thing all the way around. Means it's still going to be from way over here to over here, because that's way in the middle. I didn't realize that. I expected it to be right here. So, still need to turn this. Oh, lets me? Probably not. There we go. Oh, that's something else. Yeah, if this 8-pin was in the standard spot, it would look a lot cleaner, but it's not. So there's that. This cable will come in through there. It's down into the bottom, and then right into this first port right here that says CPU. So there's that. There's the basic stuff. And you can see, yeah, I have that line right. So we have the CPU, the 8-pin for CPU power, 24-pin hooked in. We got eSATA hooked in. We got all our power connectors hooked in. You got USB here. Need to hook this in too. So then we got this, because like I said, this hole was like kind of small. So we'll flip this around again, like, and plug this in. All the pins look good. Yeah, all they look good. Okay, and there's that all hooked in. So now everything's hooked in that needs to be to have the system functioning and turning on. So I'll flip this around. Like I said, I'll do all the cable management off camera, and then I'll redo it again. You can see, slide this over. You can see, I do still have my little bag of zip ties. You can see the screen. Need to plug it in. Oh, well, I was about to forget something. The video card. Okay, so here's our video card. It's kind of going to look out of place, right? Well, at least to me it does. Put this one thumb screw in here for right now. At least hold this in. Kind of nice is that they have these holes here, so you could just run right down here and get this in. So there's that, and I'll flip this back around again. Yeah, just try to power it on. It would have powered on, but we wouldn't have got no display because we don't have no display cable. And then need to run this cable. So now we're running the cable for the video card. I had someone that's supposed to come today and pick a different computer up, so I guess they're not picking it up. Happens all the time. People, ask me to hold stuff for them all the time, and I say, no, I can't hold it. And they're like, oh, why can't you? Well, I get too many people that just don't show up. I have people that say they're here, and then I'm like, well, you're not technically here. You're somewhere else. Oh, I'm at the wrong address. And they just get mad or whatever, and then they leave. They just don't stop. Okay, fine. I don't need to sell it. And the video card is good to go. I still need to clean this up too. Like, the top is kind of dusty. It wasn't getting hot, so I'm not going to replace thermal paste on something that's not running hot. It's actually running really cool. So now let's plug in DVI. And power cord. Switch is off, so we'll hook that in. keyboard and mouse. It's right here. Seems we're good there. Okay, let's hit the power switch and hit the power button. Cross our fingers, you know. Okay, we're getting, well, I didn't hook in the fans either right now, so we're not getting any fan movement because I didn't do the Molex thing. So it's going through the post-check thing it does. I think I might need to change the CMOS battery in it. So we get a beep now from the CMOS, and we're getting a boot on the screen. You can see it's booting up. It should go right into Windows. It is slow because this 250 gig hard drive is not that fast. But like I said in another video, it seems like every time I do a fresh install and do all the updates, it's just better than what it is. Computer's in the way, so I really can't do too much with that. I don't think I can bring this too much closer, so I don't have to zoom in on it to show you what the specs are, that everything's showing up. Bring that up closer because obviously the name of user, I feel that's wrong to put user on there, like user. What you say is like, you know, that dude's a user, man. He uses a bunch of chicks. He's just a user. This computer's not using anybody. So why do you name it loser? User. I don't know. It just feels wrong naming a computer that. Am I the only one that feels like that's not, you know, not a nice name for a computer? I usually name it whatever the motherboard is. That's what I name it. That's the motherboard. You know, other people name their whole computer, right? But when I put a username in, I just put the thing in. So yeah, the drivers are not on for the video card, so we won't see that part. Obviously, when I get the cable management done and all that stuff, I'll show you that. Just slide this over, so we'll be able to see everything else. So you can see, hopefully it's in focus pretty good. So we have the i7-5820K, a 6-core 12-thread CPU. I'm about to do these videos every time when it's like lunchtime. So we have 24 gigs of RAM showing because we have two 8 gigs and 2 4 gigs. We're 4 out of 8 slots moved. I need to go in the BIOS and rechange this. It should be 3000 hertz. I guess it reset, but it was running at 3000 hertz earlier, so I know they will run there. Right now it's running at 2666. 24 gigs of RAM. I think 24 gigs of RAM is still perfect for this system with this video card in it. The most I use in my system for the games I play, I might see a little more than 16. So 16 with my system would be bad, but I have 32 gigs in it, so I'm using a little more than 16 gigs of RAM in that system. But that's a gaming system that has a 2080 in it. So, and we're comparing a 2080 to a 1660 Ti. So the settings this card can handle, you're probably going to be under 16 gigs. And there goes the drivers for the video card. Okay, that's good. Now it's going to show them, and we change resolution size. There's that. Hopefully you can see that. So now since the screen dimmed, it installed the drivers automatically. I obviously had drivers on here for something else because I had Unigine Heaven up here. So it shows the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1660 Ti. This is a card that I didn't know what version of 1660 we had, but we got 6 gigs of VRAM, and this is GDD, oh my, I can't even say it, but it's GDDR6 memory on this card, so it's faster memory. Yeah, we're showing it, and right at idle, we're only at 29C at idle. So now I'm gonna, cut the recording, do the cable management, get the hard drive set in here. I could do the cable management off this hard drive. It's still, the SSD is going to set in here the same, so I can get all that done. So once the SSD comes in, I'll take the back panel off, I'll hook the hard drive, slide it out, unscrew the hard drive off that, undo the hard drive out of the caddy and screw in the SSD into it. So yeah, that seems pretty nice. I'm gonna go ahead, like I said, stop the recording, and I'm gonna do the cable management of it and then restart recording again. Okay, here is the next part. Oh man, it's more dust already. How the heck? So I ran these up like this because they wouldn't have been long enough, because they come out here, they'd have to run all the way around and down. Basically, I show you that in a minute. I forgot to put the panel up here. So I ran the cables upward like this, and same thing why these kind of come up here. These come up here and hook up here, because like I need to get the side panel. But here's the side panel. So when I cable all this stuff nice and neat this way, and through here, this stuff here, it isn't perfect, but I had a void one spot in it, and my cable management skill isn't that good. So I just zip tied these two up. This is the two fans, the one fan here and the one fan here. Then the line that runs, has a line for the switch that's back here. You can't feel right now, but this is a switch that runs that comes off the top fan that has the blue LEDs in it. So I just zip tied them there. This kind of down, this down, and like I said, this up, because you see with this side panel on, so with this side panel on, that clips in because of the way that's designed. So we'll tighten this, make sure it's good. So you can see, because of this, you can see some of these lines, and I didn't want, to come down. I could have come down just right here and then back up, then you would have seen the line twice, here and here. So you do see some of this here. I couldn't get that any better without like tearing a whole bunch of other stuff apart that was already pre-done. I think that looks decent. These cables, you see this one here and this one and the little ones here. Otherwise it's open. That's what I was saying about, this other side. So the front panel's on, the fans are all hooked in, except the two front ones, because the front panel's not on. But here we go on this. See, it turned out pretty decent. Put this here, because it seems like it's, but it turned out decent. I'll just slide, right? I'm trying to, so it turned out pretty decent. It doesn't have a side window on it, so it does have mesh. These are just hanging here because these go to the front, to the two fans that sit here. That's why I took this out too. I took there was an extra hard drive caddy right here just for 2 extra hard drives. So I removed that because with the two fans on, they're right here. So that would I feel like that would just give it a channel for this fan here just to blow on through and out the other side. So at least this fan here is blowing through the two hard drives. Once I get the SSD, I'm going to remove this one here because this is a 250 gig hard drive. This is where the SSD will go, right here. It's a 256 gig SSD right here, and then we gotta have our 2 terabyte drive as for extra storage and stuff. Obviously they can upgrade that if they wanted to, but I love that kind of combo. If your operating system drive goes bad, you still have your games. If your game drive goes bad, you still have your operating system. You get what I mean, having 2 separate drives. And running games off a hard drive, it's not going to be as fast as an SSD, but it's going to be a little bit faster than running just a straight out hard drive itself. So you got the operating system running. Only thing that's going to should be running off of this would be your game itself. Yeah, I run that myself like that, so it seems pretty good to me. Yeah, the load times to get into the game are a little bit longer. Once you're in the game, it's fine. So everything's decent in here. Yeah, like I said, it could use a better video card, but this is technically the second best video card I have right now. Well, only video card that I actually have up for sale. So it's the best video card I have up for sale. The next one down would be the 1050 Ti, and then obviously would be lower than that would be the Quadra 600. I'm not gonna make this too long. I have everything hooked into the back. I actually got to run another, put one of these things, back in here. I'll do that later, but I wanted to show this. I'll set this to the side so I can hook the fans back up. Fans are tricky because the way they're hooked in like these, like the way this is hooked in, so you hook both these fans on. Otherwise, or not hook them in, you wouldn't have to worry about them. Once the case is on, you shouldn't really need to go back in it too much, unless something happens, which I don't see anything happening. Right? Then you just run these, kind of slide them underneath here, keep these out of the way, and then slide in the front, push in the back. I'll tighten that screw down so it's down more. Yeah, with it on, it's fine. Okay, so we'll re-show it again. I'll probably maybe timestamp it so it will show this ending part, so the system's all back up and running. I'm trying to move this a little closer so I don't have to physically zoom back in more. Yeah, I think the switch is off. Switch is back on. Hit the power button. Okay, all sets of fans are showing up, and you can run them all from this to amp them up, run them down. Okay, okay, there we go. Now they're on. Oh, that's kind of weird. Yeah, we got our front fan, we got these fans on. They're running. Yeah, so both side fans are running, the top fan's running, and the back fan's running. And obviously the switch is on for the fans for here, but you can see on the camera with my hand right here. Then over here you can see each one of these fans, if it has a fan hooked to the header that runs the toggle up here, turns on. So if it detects the fans, it will turn on. You see we're getting a boot, but obviously it's going to be slow because it's still running off the hard drive, and I still need to do an install. I think they just cloned a drive, because this was acting the same way as a hard drive would do if it was in a laptop. Like if you have a laptop and you hit the power button, default setting is it would just go to sleep. That's what this system was doing. When I hit the power button, it just would go to sleep. Desktop's default is to turn off, so when I hit the power button, it would turn off. I think they just cloned a drive, whatever, like since they knew this had Windows 10 Pro on it, they just re-cloned the base system. Like if I do this drive here, just a basic install, and then turn the computer off, it has Windows 10. This one I think has Home on it, maybe Pro, I don't remember. But I can re-clone this drive off and put it on other systems. Putting other systems booted up is good, right? I think that's what they did with this drive here, just a clone from some other drive. Or they went through here and changed that to the power button to be a sleep button for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, you can see the system's up and running. Let's go, like I don't think you can see the task manager or nothing like that. Like we'll go to, maybe you see systems better. Zoom in and let that, hopefully the camera kind of fixes itself. I don't think you can see that at all, but yeah, we still have the i7 5820K, so a 6-core 12-thread CPU. We have 24 gigs of RAM. I haven't changed it to run at 3000, but I know it will run at 3000 minimum. Okay, 3000. I don't, IDs, all this stuff on here. Install date 4/24/2023. So yeah, this drive was installed like almost a year ago from the original. So I'm gonna do, obviously when I put the SSD in it, I'm just gonna do a fresh install. This is just to show you system's working. But yeah, this is like an hour-long video of this one computer. But it's good to go. I'll timestamp it, so whoever is watching this is probably the person that's going to buy it. So I'll put leave a quote in the description on where you can fast forward it to see, you know, it rebooting up and working. You know, from me showing that cable management. This cable management inside here looks decent. Yeah, the system's working. It has a Windows 10 Pro. It's activated, so everything's good there. I did install the Wi-Fi, so you can probably see that with the side picture on it. So it has Wi-Fi in it. Yeah. The final version of this will have the 256 gig SSD in it, not the 250 gig hard drive. That's the only thing that's going to be different on the system when I actually post it up for sale. And obviously, it's going to have 27-inch monitor. This keyboard right here, which is a Logitech. Let's zoom back out. Can I? Okay, will be this Logitech keyboard, which is a G105, and then I have a, which isn't out here, and I do have a Logitech gaming mouse too that will go with it. It has 2 buttons on the side. But yeah, I'm gonna call it end of this video because it's gonna be like 50 minutes or so long video. System's awesome. There's that. And what else to say? Thank you for watching. You know, if you bought this computer, thank you. I'll say that again. Thank you for buying it. You know, and obviously if you made it all the way to the end, even if you picked it and you bought it, you know, leave that in the comments. Yeah, hey, I'm the one who bought this. I'm happy with it. You know, it's an awesome machine. The monitor looks perfect. Or say if you bought the monitor or not. You know, if you wanted the monitor and the keyboard and mouse or not. But yeah, that's going to be a wrap on this video. Thank you for watching.